If you go on fretting about this redundancy, you'll make yourself ill.
That's just it. I am ill.
What I mean is you'll make yourself worse.
You don't understand, Carol. I've just been to the bathroom again. Carol, there was blood. I don't know what on earth's wrong, but it is not gastroenteritis.
I'm calling the duty doctor. Blow your Tuesday appointment. He's coming out to see you now. This can't go on.
Carol got out of bed and put on her dressing gown. What's wrong with me, Carol? Why is there blood? What am I suffering from? Carol got through to Dr. Forbes, who, luckily, being Alec's GP anyway, happened to be duty doctor for the night. He told her he'd come straight over. He arrived 20 minutes later, and Carol apologised to him for disturbing his night's sleep. Oh, well, it's something one has to put up with in this sort of job. I'm more concerned with your husband's current condition, to be honest. I'm frightened to death, Doctor. I've never had anything like this before. No. Well, I know it's all very easy to say, but please don't get uptight about it.
He was made redundant last Friday, Doctor.
Oh dear, I'm very sorry to hear that. What wretched times we live in, don't we? They keep telling us this recession's coming to an end, but I haven't seen much proof of it yet. Look, I would have said that you've had a nasty elongated bout of gastroenteritis. But as there's blood showing, I think it would be more in order if I suggest your wife packs a few things and we get you into Prince Andrew's Hospital tonight.
Hospital? It is serious, then?
No. Purely precautionary, Mrs. Harris. Greg, who was obviously disturbed by the comings and goings of the middle of the night, came into the bedroom to find out what was happening. What's going on, ma'am?
It's all right, love. Your dad's going into hospital for some tests.
What's wrong with him? I'm okay, Greg. Look, don't worry, mate. Although Alec said it, he didn't really think it. Carol packed his hold-all with essentials, and Dr. Forbes called for an ambulance. He was in the gastroenterology ward of the hospital within the hour. Dear old Miss Weaver, an ACREBURY native whose father had once worked for the Emblings at Church Farm many years ago. At 85, she now walked with the help of a frame, but lived alone in one of the senior citizens' bungalows at Fieldview Close, of which Mary Hardington was the warden. In 1979, when Bill and Betty Barrett retired from ACREBURY Green Farm, Miss Weaver and her late sister had to vacate Swan River Cottage, which they'd been renting from the Barretts. The council awarded her No. 2 Fieldview Close, and she'd made the one-bedroom bungalow a cosy little home, despite the fact that she'd been pestered by Ada Cumley's cats from the bungalow opposite that kept clawing up her flowers in the garden. She and Collingbourne Tuck were firm friends, and at one time village people thought there might be wedding bells from them both, but no.
Would you care for another piece of Dundee cake, Mr. Tuck?
Oh, I don't mind if I do, Miss Weaver, thank you.
As she cut him another slice, he held up his plate in readiness for her to place the piece of cake on it.
Homemade or bought, Miss Weaver?
Mrs. Hicks at the shop. I'm afraid my cake-making days are a thing of the past.
Now, I don't believe that, you.
My poor old bones are wearing out, you know. I don't know how you can possibly keep your cottage going. I get tired walking to the garden gate these days.
I hope you ain't going to let try about giving up me cottage and moving into one of these bungalows, 'cause Bill and Betty Barrett keeps on at I about doing the same thing.
It must be a headache, though, Mr. Tuck, what with your large garden and everything.
If I was to give it all up, I'd pop me clogs the next day, sure as eggs is eggs.
Miss Weaver poured him a second cup of tea. He often paid her a visit, especially on a Tuesday afternoon. But next Tuesday they would probably meet at the village hall for the Silver Threads Over 60s Club's monthly meeting.
Mrs. Palmer was telling me that she's having terrible trouble getting used to her new set of false teeth. She says she thinks the dentist has made them far too big, and she can hardly talk because of them.
I'm glad I've never had to have them.
I've had my set for years without any problem. They don't make dentures like they used to.
They don't make nothing like they used to, except Dundee cake. Anyhow, shall I see you at Silver Threads a week today, then?
Yes, if my arthritis isn't playing up too much. It's been awful this past few days.
That's the change in the weather, you expect. Well, I must be getting back home, Miss Weaver. I gotta finish off pruning me roses, which I started on this morning. Here, do yours need doing at all?
David Embling and Major Harcourt walked through the undergrowth of Hampton Woods. David had told the Major that he'd seen a vehicle's lights halfway down the lane when he drove back from Harton at about midnight. They both stopped at a clearing and the Major's fears were confirmed.
Well, there are the tracks, David. You were right. Someone's been here with a largish vehicle, like a transit van or something. Yes, I think they've been felling trees, blast 'em. What a mess they've made, too.
Oh, my word. Somebody logging, presumably, Major?
Undoubtedly. The trouble is, any amount of people could be over here cutting down trees and nobody would know. Blasted rascals.
Do you reckon 'tis Fred Partridge?
Well, one can't accuse, but he seems one of the likeliest, doesn't he? I shall have to tread a bit carefully over this one, though. One could accuse Fred, and he may be totally innocent.
Alec lay on his bed in Harton Ward at Prince Andrew's Hospital. Dr. Neville Bentley approached the bed. He was a tall, slim man with dark hair and gold-rimmed glasses. He had a wonderful bedside manner, and his expertise was in problems of the gut.
Mr. Harris, hello.
Dr. Bentley.
I'm sorry we had to keep you waiting for so long. I'm sure you'll be able to go home before the end of the day. We've got the results of your sigmoidoscope examination. Sorry the anal search was so uncomfortable, but it was necessary.
What are the results, Doctor? What have you found?
Well, what you've got is a disease which is actually quite common. It's known as ulcerative colitis. We don't really know the exact cause of it. There are a variety of theories. We're going to put you on a course of medication for about 1 month.
Will I live?
Oh, yes. Providing you're sensible and stick to the medication. We'll put you on a course of prednisolone, which is a steroid, and a sulphur drug called salazapyrin. But be warned, that can make some men temporarily infertile.
Carol was relieved when Alec telephoned her and asked if she would pick him up from the hospital that evening. He seemed quite perky considering everything else and was obviously happy in the knowledge that he did not have a fatal illness. Carol put on her coat and collected the car keys from their hook in the kitchen. She went to the front door, and when she opened it she had quite a surprise. A very sheepish-looking young girl was standing on the doorstep with a suitcase on the path beside her.
Oh, can I help you? Are you Mrs. Harris? Yes, I'm Cleo Petty. Is Greg at home? Yes, he's up in his room. Can I see him? If you wish, but tell me, why have you got a suitcase with you?